In today's tutorial, we are going to be making this birthday party dress with puff sleeve and gathered layers. And I'll also show you how you can price and sell this dress to make profit even from home. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss my future tutorials and business tips. My name is Ajla. Let's get started. Here are the materials I'll be using for today's tutorial. This is taffeta and it's 3 yards. Okay, I have my veil net. This is just to add fluffiness to the skirt part, and of course the main fabric I'm using 3 yards, as you can see. All right, so for this tutorial I'll be skipping the upper part because you can see that it's very easy. I have so many videos on how to do that, from the drafting to the sewing. I already have so many videos on that, so I'll be skipping it out. So we'll concentrate more on the skirt. So the skirt length that I'm working with is 16 inches. Now from the thumbnail you can see how the design is. So I'm going to divide the length, the skirt length, by 2 because I want it to be equal. So if I divide the 16 by 2, I'll have 8 inches. So one is going to be 8 inches, the other one 8 inches. So as we proceed, you understand better. So this is my 3 yards. I'm going to be cutting out the 8 inches first, okay, and then add my 1 inch for the hemming allowance. So here I'll just cut out 9 inches. You can see that my 3 yards is folded together. Okay, so I'm trying to arrange it well on this end. So I'll go ahead and mark my 9 inches. All right, so this is my 9 inches, and then I'll cut it out straight. Now for this part I'll be cutting out 2. So I'll cut out 9 inches into 2 because my 3 yards will not cover all the lower part, that is the hem area. This particular one will not be enough because we're going to pleat. So I'll cut this out in 2 places. Okay, so this is the next one, 9 inches. And then I'll cut it out. This is what I have left, so I'm going to open it up now and fold it in a triangle way. This dress is very easy. You can actually make this in less than 1 hour, and this I'm using a 3-year-old measurement for this. So I'll quickly fold in a triangle way to cut out the rest of my skirt length. Okay, so all right, so I've folded that in a triangle way, as you can see. Here the fabric is on, you can see it's already folded. So I'll come to this part that is short. You can see that this side is shorter, so I'll mark my 8 inches. Okay, from here I'll mark my 8 inches, but at this point I'll not be making it 8 inches again. I'll be adding extra 1.5 to it because of my waist and joining allowance for this. Okay, so I'll just mark 9.5. From here I'll just mark my 9.5. okay, so after marking the 9.5, now I'll go up to check what I have from this point to this end and then mark that out, so it will give me that curve shape. Okay, I am marking it all through. 28.5 is what is giving me, so I am marking it all through, and then I will connect. Okay, so this is 28.5 here. I'll just connect and cut. Okay, now you can see that with this you can also use it to make something else, but for this dress I'll use it for the bow. So I'll keep it aside and then mark the rest of my skirt length. You can see that this is very easy. It's almost like the last video that I just dropped. Okay, so I'll mark the rest of the skirt. So I'll follow the shape and mark my 9.5 and then cut it out. After cutting it out, I will now take it to my sewing machine and use my gather stitch to run it all through. The first thing I did here was to gather the upper part of my skirt. That is the side that is sitting exactly on the waist area. I used my gather stitch to run it all through from beginning to the end. Then after doing that, I folded this into 4 and then notch the side. Now the reason behind this is because I'm working with 2 panels, to complete the length of my skirt, and the 2 panels I'll be joining it, meaning it's going to be having lines on the side. So I decided to notch the upper side, that is the one that is like a flare. I decided to fold into 4 and notch it to get the side so that my panel line will align with the flare parts. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say, so that it will look neat on the side. Okay, so after doing that, I use my lining on each of my panels, just sew it all through and then top stitch. After doing that, now I folded it again to the right side now, and I use a very slight pleat on the panels, after which I decided to now join it together with the upper one. Now let's talk money. Dresses like this sells for 40,000 to 150,000 naira. It all depends on the type of fabric that you're using. So I'm going to be using the material I use here, to illustrate. I used 3 yards of damask, and this damask, 1 yard is 6,000, so 3 yards will give me 18,000. Then I use my lining. I use 3 yards, and that is 4,500. Then my veil net, I use 5 yards for this one, so that 5 yards is 2,500. So my thread and my zip is 1,000 naira. Now the total cost of all the materials that I used for this project is 26,000 naira. This is a damask. So if the total cost is 26,000 and you decide to use the ×2 method that I explained in my last video to sell, that this is going to be 26,000 by 2, which is going to be giving me 52,000. So 52,000 naira. You can do this if you're just starting, because you're still trying to win client to your side. But if you're already grounded, you should multiply by 3, okay, to sell. Now if you decide to use satin, which is a more cheaper option, let's just calculate. Satin 3 yards is 3,600. Your net is 2,500 for the 5 yards, and then 3 yards of lining is 4,500. The thread and zip is 1,000. So everything is going to cost 11,600 if you decide to use satin. Okay, now you can use this now to decide what to sell. So this is the easy way of knowing how to price. Like I said earlier, if you're just starting, don't follow what others are charging. Make sure that you should be considerate, because you're still trying to win client to your side. By the time you're grounded, you can then decide to go the normal way that it should be done. All right, so I'm throwing these questions to you guys. Using the material that I use now, everything costs 26,000, and if I decide to sell 52,000, do you think it's a good one, or I should multiply by 2.5? Okay, so just let me know in the comments.